It is January 25, 2017, day 5 of the Second American Revolution. I'm Israel Anderson, and we need to talk. Sorry that I didn't have an update for you yesterday. I want to put a lot of detail and depth and nuance into these updates. I want to try to do them every day. I record these on the spot, on the fly, completely unedited. I write a few lines out and then I generally do them, but I've usually spent my day doing all the background research. There has been so much information, both yesterday, Tuesday, and today, Wednesday, that has come out from President Obama that I cannot stay on track. I can't stay up to date with everything that's going on. 5 executive orders yesterday, several more today. The whole issue with DAPL, the Dakota Access Pipeline. I'm sympathetic to the natives there, and I understand both sides of that issue. I've got friends that have literally gone there and protested in person. And yet, as a climate change skeptic, I'm not at all interested in the climate change side of things. I'm not going to use a hoax to back up my own personal beliefs. So, it's just like, where do you come? I like to have an opinion. I like to be able to say one way or the other because I like to help people get clarity on issues. It's hard with things like that. So there's a lot going on right now is what I'm saying. So I'm going to be kind of brief tonight. I will say this. If you value these updates, then would you please do me a huge favor and share them, because I started funding like the boost that Facebook gives you on my page. And what I've recognized is that the more you pay them, the less they promote it to encourage you to spend more and more and more. Now, they would probably deny that, but I'm no fool. I have seen exactly what they have done. So, in other words, what I'm saying is that $1 that I was spending 2 weeks ago doesn't buy me the same as what $1 spent today does. I said that back to front, rather. So that's a problem. I can't just throw money at that in order to get information out to people. I don't make any money from this, so this is truly a burden of love. So if you could do me one huge favor, and that is share it. Get it out there to maybe 5 people. Tag people. Share it to your own Facebook wall. Tag people. Tag your friends in that post. Do something to help me build the audience here. If I can build a larger audience, and the one thing that I will be promoting from time to time, or probably at the end of every episode, is building a business with Ronnie Paul and Doug Weed and I in Isogenics. That's a great thing. We'll talk about that at the end. It weighs on me so much because over the last few years, and especially over the last few months, people have turned to me as a source of guidance and accuracy. And it's hard when so much is going on to stay on top of everything. And, you've got to digest things. You've got to process things. And a lot of the executive orders, it contain some pretty deep legalese. And, I'm no attorney. And so it's difficult. It's a challenge. I love it, but it is a challenge. And so I'm a little overwhelmed right now. Anyway, I'm going to spend tonight putting together the actual RSS for the podcast feed. RSS, Real Simple Syndication. It's an acronym for an XML file that we use for describing to podcatchers where they can download those files and get all the titles and chapter information and everything like that for a podcast. And been meaning to do that, so I will get that done this evening. So hopefully tomorrow, Thursday, no, I probably won't be. It'll be Friday, the day after tomorrow. Actually, it won't be tomorrow because my drone will be arriving in the morning. I have a brand new DJI Mavic Pro. And I just lost a lot of people. They all hate my guts right now. Very hard to get. It's been on back order for a month. But it will be here. Actually, it's a lie. It's not that long. It's been about 3 weeks, though. And it will be here tomorrow. They actually tried to deliver it this morning. It arrived in the country from Hong Kong. at 10:45 p.m. in Memphis, Tennessee, to the big UPS distribution center there. And when I checked the order a few days ago, it said that it wouldn't be arriving until Friday. So I thought, well, that's fine. And then I went to the farm today to pick up the raw milk, and I got back and there was a FedEx thing on the door. Or is it? Here it is, door tag, saying, "Hey, we missed you. You've got a package here from DJI." Yes, really, that's interesting. So anyway, I'll have it tomorrow, and I'm going to upload some fun footage for you from that camera drone. It's going to be exciting. So let's take a look at the news today. Sorry, I didn't mean to be wasting your time. Rand Paul, like father, like son, has been spending time with Donald Trump every so often, and Rand is very, very interested. Remember, Rand is a medical doctor. He's an ophthalmologist. That's that guy that looks at your eyes and works out if you've got anything wrong and prescribes you glasses and things like that. And he has been putting together the replacement to Obamacare, or at least a possible replacement to Obamacare. But he is doing this, I guess, somewhat under the supervision of the president. Well, supervision, don't take that the wrong way, but under the guidance, the informing of the president. He has the ear of the president. And so this bill, which I read briefly today, was very short, very interesting, and is using free market solutions, of course. It has a very novel approach to dealing with the PreExisting Conditions issue, which is something I'm just, look, all the conversation is right now is about around PreExisting Conditions. And while obviously I have a heart of mercy towards those that have PreExisting conditions, it's not the responsibility of everybody else to pay 10 times as much in their insurance just so that you can get coverage for your pre-existing condition. I know that might sound mean, but there are, just realities. It doesn't fall on the entire bulk of society to be paying everybody's hospital bills just because you lucked out in the genetic pool. Sorry, I know that can sound offensive to some people, but this is survival of the fittest, and I don't have a priority to put so much of my paycheck towards somebody else's medical bills, right? I mean, some of the costs that some people incur are exorbitant, $1 million a year. I mean, ridiculous sums, right? And it shouldn't be up to the rest of us to pay for that. We will never have inexpensive health insurance for 99.9% of people if we have to cover people with pre-existing conditions. Now, I think I've been rather blunt about that. I probably offended a few people. But that's just the reality. So if we want inexpensive health insurance, we cannot cover people with pre-existing conditions. I'm sorry, you just can't do that. So Rand Paul has a novel approach in his bill that provides coverage for these people for 2 years. Now, that's still going to increase the cost dramatically, but it does mean that after 2 years, they won't be able to do that, and we better make sure that they don't try to extend that. And prices will then generally start to come down for insurance at that time. And hopefully the insurance companies will factor in that 2-year window and will, eat some of the cost in the meantime. Maybe, maybe not. But it is great to see that Rand is doing this, that Rand has the ability to communicate with the president at this level. And, I did predict that relationship. And right now, Donald Trump is talking about Vice President Mike Pence as being his replacement in 8 years. And yes, Trump has made it very clear that he's going to run for re-election, and he's going to win hands down. He'll win both the popular vote and the Electoral College. So Mike Pence is not somebody I'm real comfortable with, I'll be very honest. I'm perceptive. I read people. I don't like Mike Pence. I just don't. I really don't. Maybe in 6 months or a year, I'll when it's more important. If he hasn't changed, I'll go into reasons why. But I think it's a very good opportunity for Rand to play his cards right over the next 8 years and become the next president of the United States, which I will fight for because I believe in Rand. I believe in Ron, and I believe in Rand, and I think that's worth fighting for. I don't know what I'm going to be doing in 8 years, but I'll come out of retirement no matter what I'm doing to help Rand Paul win the presidency. And I'm sure you will too. Some time ago, I came out about, maybe a year ago, after looking at this issue for a very long time and understanding that if I came out of the closet that I would be ridiculed and mocked and, hey, what's new? And so I did. So 1 year ago, or thereabouts, I'm not sure exactly when, but somewhere around there, I came out as an anti-vaxxer. I spent my life looking at this issue. I spent the last 15 years looking at the vaccine issue. Because I remember 15 years ago, I met somebody, and his name is Winky Pratney. Amazing guy. I actually came to America to serve Winky Pratney. That's why I came here. I actually came here as a religious minister. And I had just gotten the flu shot, and I told Winky, I was in the car with him, I told him I just got the flu shot. And he was like, shouldn't have done that. I'm like, what? Anyway, so we had this conversation, and I laughed, and I think I mocked him a little. Now, those of you who know Winky Pratney, not many of you will know Winky Pratney, but those of you who do, he has a very, very, small but invigorated fan base. And you Google him, W-I-N-K-I, Pratney, P-R-A-T-N-E-Y. And that began an investigation, a long investigation. And I've always been a scientist. I've always been a student of the sciences, and I check things out for a very long time. A year ago, I came out and said, all right, the evidence, while not overwhelming, the evidence absolutely leads, and I must follow the evidence where it leads. It leads in the directions that there are serious, serious problems with vaccines. So right now, there is a mumps breakout. It is in Spokane, Washington. I have somebody who's in the area there that just told me that they have firsthand experience with what's going on up there right now. And there is a mumps breakout. 45 people, or 50 people in total have got the mumps, and 45 are fully vaccinated individuals, and 5 are unvaccinated individuals, vax-free. And they have found patient 0. They know who that person is. We don't know anything about them, including their sex right now. But the Center for Disease Control, the CDC, has said that they contracted mumps from the live virus. Interesting. Why do we not have the diseases floating around society today? How long are we going here? 13 minutes. The reason we don't is because we understand things like vitamin D. We understand the 90 essential nutrients that are required for life that we consume or try to in our diets far more than we did before. We understand hygiene, and so we use soap. We have showers, and I guess we don't have baths much anymore, every night. We wash our hands. We cover when we sneeze. And, we have established great rules in the workplace, like don't come to work if you have the flu, and things like this. And this has stopped the spread of disease. And diseases aren't always there. They come and they go. Ebola came a couple of years ago. It's gone again. No vaccine is available for Ebola. And so people these days think that the only way a disease goes away is through a vaccine. This is what's been drummed into the population. It's complete and utter effing nonsense. The reason we don't have diseases around society in general today is because in general, with our hygiene and nutrition that we have today, we generally don't have diseases floating around. You're not being protected by a vaccine. Here's the whole causation and correlation argument. You'll hear the pro-vaxxers say, it's their first go-to argument when you try to connect vaccines with autism and ADHD and a bunch of other things, right? Encephalitis and whatnot. Well, the first thing they'll say is, what is it? A correlation isn't causation. Oh, great, Sherlock. I mean, that's so clever of you, right? So, correlation, in other words, two data sets appearing to be similar, isn't causation, which means that one of those data sets is not necessarily doesn't necessarily have anything to do with the other one. It could be just pure coincidence. There could be other factors at play that are unrelated, and that's why they correlate. In other words, you can get things like, I don't know, the amount of snow that falls in a certain city and compare it to, let's say, the rate of crime in that argument. But, it could be anything. Well, the funny thing is they don't consider that the very same argument that they raise, which is legitimate. It is a legitimate argument. Correlation is not causation. Not always, anyway. It can be, of course. Well, the problem is that they don't apply that when they start jumping down anti-vaxxers' throats and saying, well, what do you want all these diseases to come back? And in other words, what they're suggesting is that we don't have these diseases around today because everyone's vaccinated. Well, I'd like to remind you, if you're pro-vax and listening to this and getting really red in the face and upset with me right now, that correlation isn't causation. Did the penny drop for you? I hope it did. Just because everybody's vaccinated has nothing to do necessarily with the fact that disease is not running rampant everywhere. Correlation is not causation. You got to eat your own argument, right? So this whole mumps thing being started off by somebody who got the vaccine, of course, so you can't get it from the vaccine. Well, that's all these people that get flu from the vaccine. And so, 45 additional people, or I guess 44 additional people that have been fully vaccinated also have the mumps. Well, okay. What happened there? All right. Vaccines don't work. Vaccines are a big scam, and they can work in some limited circumstances. I shouldn't give a blanket statement, but for the most part, vaccines do not work. You're injecting yourself with a bunch of toxic chemicals that might as well just be saline or water. Because most of these vaccines don't have absolutely any effect on your ability to be immune from anything. Vaccines are a scam. They are giving you a false sense of protection. You are being lied to, you're being deceived, and you argue, 90% of people argue in favor of vaccinations. They have no scientific understanding nor experience. They haven't researched this. And every single anti-vaxxer I've ever run across, they've done the research like insanity. And the pro-vaxxers just parrot everything the government says. I mean, it's embarrassing. So many libertarians are pro-vax. Oh, so you're a government. Wait, the government. Hang on. The government said, can we just stop there for a second and think about the rest? The government said. Wow. Yeah, the government, they must be very accurate. Great source of information. They must always just have our best intent in heart, right? Absolutely. I mean, we should just disband the Libertarian Party. We don't need it anymore. The government, it's government. They love us, right? They care about us so much. So frickin' much. We are being systematically lied to about vaccines. Now, not all the doctors and all the researchers, they're not all in on it, but there's no studies done. They release the vaccines. It's not like a drug. They don't have to compare it to placebo and blind, double-blind clinical trials and all this kind of jazz. Not at all, right? H1N1. Oh, holy crap! Quick, create a vaccine. No, you don't have to test it. No, you don't have to put it through clinical trials. Yeah, it's approved. Just get it out there. Get it out there. Sell as much as you can. I ran out of breath. I mean, come on, those of you that are pro-vaxxers, look, I get it, because I was one of you 15 years ago, real solidly. It took me a long freaking time to come around. So I don't expect you to come around overnight neither. But put your thinking cap on. Start to think about what the hell is going on. We're being lied to. There's a big Disneyland measles outbreak with 127 people got measles. Patient ground zero was fully vaccinated. That was a more interesting case than this one. 127 people. No, 227? Someone correct me. Large number of people contracted the measles from Disneyland in Anaheim, California. Guess what? Every single person was vaccinated. Not a single person that contracted measles was unvaccinated. And this is in Disneyland. This is around Anaheim, California. All right, pretty affluent area. It's a nice area, so it's not too bad. I've stayed a week there. I've gone to Disneyland. So and why do I say that? Sorry, you're not connecting the dots. Sorry, I left some important information out. Guess which demographic in society are the most unvaccinated of all? Affluent people. People with money and education are the least vaccinated in society. The highest levels of vaccination are for those below the poverty line. Interesting, isn't it? Very interesting. All right, the wall. And I'm going to end with this. Donald Trump came out today. I have fun recording these. You can tell, right? I'm gearing up so that I can do these live. So you'll be watching me in a live stream. And we may do a Q&A at the end. And then I will post it still just as an audio. I'll rip the audio off of the video and still post that for you. But you'll be able to tune in live every day and watch me record these. That might be fun. So, the wall. Executive order today for the wall. Have not had time to go through it. There's just so much stuff I'm going through. I will get through it tonight, tomorrow. But here's what I do know. The executive order doesn't need to create law. And remember, by the way, okay, tangent, that's very necessary because I see this meme is exploding all over Facebook about the executive orders. The problem we have with executive orders is when they create law, when they create new legislation, right? Example, the EPA exists solely because of an executive order. No, we can't do that, all right? Which is why I hope that, well, I don't know, maybe the EPA can serve some very tiny limited purpose, perhaps, I don't know. I don't think we need a whole department for it. I think the government just needs a department of practicality or a department of common sense, and then like 20 different departments can all be eradicated, and the 5% of each one that was actually somewhat interesting we'll just throw over to the Department of Common Sense. I think that'd be a good solution. But the problem we have with executive orders is when they create law. Nothing that Donald Trump, God, I almost said Barack Obama, nothing that Donald Trump has done in any of these executive orders creates new law or legislation. Nothing, not one, at least that I've read, and I've read most of them except the one on the wall. I'll get to that. Now, somebody challenged me yesterday and said, well, I think the Mexico policy, no. Lifting a limit. No, it's just no. The legislation was passed by Congress. So, no. Now, the executive orders are all fine then. Right? There's a lot of them. Yes, I told you this was going to be fast. This is the Second American Revolution. This is going to blow your mind. I told everybody. No one believed me. Fast. Super fast. Blow your frickin' mind fast. And what's happening? That's what's happening. All right, so no new bill is needed to build this wall. You think, well, wait, you can't just say by executive order you can build the wall. No, you cannot. That's exactly true. You cannot do that because that would be creating new law. And then you got to get funding for it and the whole bit, right? So here's the funny thing. Back in 2006, wonderful senators like Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton passed a law while Bush was president to build a border fortress, a wall, a barrier between the US and Mexico. It already exists. Mind-blowing, isn't it? I don't know how the left are going to attack this one. Oh, they're building a wall. Yeah, on your bill. On your law. Passed by who? The former president and your former Democrat that wanted to be the next president? Yeah, those people. So that's going to be real interesting. So I believe that all we need now is to appropriate the funds and we can start building the wall. So today Trump said the wall will commence being built in 2 to 3 months. I bet you they've been looking for contractors for some time. They probably already have a short list. They're probably going to go through a bidding process right now and pick out some contractors to start building this wall. I don't have too much of a problem with the wall. I really don't. I'm an immigrant, and I guess I have a different perspective. But I came here legally, right? So I don't have a problem with the wall. Now, almost all my friends do. I understand. They'll say things like, well, we should end the welfare state. Yep, we should, but we're not going to do that. So we need to build a wall. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, you look at the money being spent on the welfare state and you compare that to, the cost to build a wall. I mean, it's like 1/10,000th of the budget of the welfare state, right? I mean, there's not going to be that much money spent on the wall. I think it's like the estimated cost is between $30 and $40 billion. It's just not that much money. So not in the grand scheme of things anyway. So, okay, fine, building the wall. This is the longest one we've ever done, and I thought it was going to be the shortest. All right, so that's it for the day. Before you go, please remember, please, 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 am I begging? I guess I am. I'm begging you. Please, would you share this with 5 people? Would you share it to your wall and then tag 5 people in it? I'd really appreciate that. They might think I'm a little crazy. They'll probably think you're crazy too, but that's okay because you are. So, no harm, no foul. All right, remember, it is nearing the end of February. And I know that some people have a negative, and rightfully so, a negative opinion of network marketing. There's been a lot of scams out there. And I don't want to start mentioning the names because someone's going to be in one of those companies and I'm going to get, criticized because I criticized them. So anyway, I'm not going to name them, but 15 years ago next month, Jim and Kathy Coover, this amazing couple, they decided to reinvent network marketing. They created this company called Isagenix. We have health products. I consume them every day. I live on their drinkable meals, quite literally. Doug Weed, Senior Campaign Advisor to the Ron Paul Presidential Campaign. Look him up on Facebook. Very, very amazing guy. Just about to publish a book called Game of Thorns about how Hillary Clinton lost to Donald Trump. He is a presidential historian. He's written New York Times bestsellers. I'm in business with him. Ronnie Paul, Rand Paul's brother, Ron Paul's son, older son, is also part of our team. And we all work together. We are building a business in this network marketing company called, again, Isagenix. It's legitimate. It's something that's never been done before. It's not an MLM model. This is a creation from scratch. It's a team-based system. It's unique. And here's the thing that everyone gets impressed by, and it's true, so it's good to say it. When you look at the money that the company pays to the field, you look at other companies, it's diminutive. I mean, it's small fry. You work your butt off in other companies, you can't make any money. I mean, those of you that have been in network marketing, you go, yeah, I've heard it before, I've done this and done that, sure. And you know what it's like. It's almost impossible to make real money in network marketing. Not with us. We have a 50-50 revenue, not profit, revenue sharing split. This is a revenue sharing cooperative. This is not an MLM. So what does that mean? Well, we did almost $1 billion last year, I think $948 million or something like that. So let's just say $1 billion. So $500 million was paid out to people like me. Not all of it. That would be nice though. $500 million. I could do a lot with that. I could build a wall. Anyway, so this is legitimate. If you're looking for a way to create extra income, and you should be, especially if you're an employee, because that's not good being a wage slave, then you want to look at an alternate source of income, right? And I know not everyone wants to listen to this. That's why I do it at the end. So you can just switch this off because you won't miss any news, okay? No deception here. But if you are looking to create extra income in your life, and you also want to get the healthiest you've ever been in your life, then consider joining us. Reach out to me various different ways. My phone number is public. It's been public for many years. I believe in accessibility. 720. I'm giving you my number right now. Get a pen. 720 346-4471. Don't bother texting me. Call me. Why? Because I'm only interested in talking to people that are serious. All right? All right. So, and yes, the Ronnie Paul, Rand Paul's brother, Ron Paul's son. Yes, like we're literally all doing this together. Yes, other members of the Ron Paul family are involved. Yes, it's not just name dropping. Like, this is what we do. Okay? So, come be a part of it if you want. You just want to get ripped in the gym or lose some weight, you come do that too. We have the best products. I'm telling you, everyone tries everything else, then they come and use our products and they're freaking out because they cannot believe they're getting the result. But I was told that this hydrosolate was better and would absorb into my muscles faster because it's been denatured and split apart into separate amino groups. Yeah, well, clinical trials are funny things, but results count. We have the best protein. If you have tried to get shredded in the gym and nothing's working, you're trying to build muscle mass, nothing's working, try our protein. It's organic. It's the purest, cleanest, undenatured whey protein from grass-fed, completely pasture-raised New Zealand, my home country, by the way, dairy cows. It's the best. Have a fantastic night. Please share it. Please share it. Please share it with 5 people. I'd love you. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night. See you tomorrow and pray that I have the podcast done by Friday. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.